TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Hezbollah launches a ballistic missile toward Tel Aviv, while dozens of additional rockets pour on northern Israel. Israel prepares for a ground maneuver into Lebanon. The Islamic Republic Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei asserts that Hezbollah is sacrificing itself for Gaza. Rocket alert sirens sounded in central Israel at 6:30 this morning, including in Tel Aviv, its suburbs, the Sharon area, as well as the city of Netanya, when Hezbollah launched an Iranian-made surface-to-surface ballistic missile toward what the Iranian proxy claimed to be the Mossad intelligence agency's headquarters. However, the Israeli Air Force Defense and Missile Array launched a David Sling interceptor which eliminated the hostile projectile. Thankfully, no injuries or damage were reported. Subsequently, Hezbollah launched a number of barrages of rockets towards Israel's northern communities with chief focus on the civilian community of Safed. And while the vast majority of these incoming projectiles were successfully intercepted, one house sustained a direct hit.
In the past several hours, Safed and its periphery were subject to a heavy barrage of dozens of rockets. To my deep regret, we sustained a direct hit to one of the houses in one of the neighborhoods in the town of Safed. Luckily, the family is currently abroad. Therefore, this incident concluded without casualties. Over the past 24 hours, we witnessed strikes on houses in which the residents were located in protected areas, with emphasis on protected rooms, and were saved.
It is important to know that the separate barrages of dozens of rockets at a time are being launched as thousands of Hezbollah munitions, with chief focus on those stored throughout southern Lebanon, have already been destroyed, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserting, following a visit at an IDF intelligence directorate base, that Nasrallah is leading the people of Lebanon to the edge of the abyss.
I
have just finished visiting one of our intelligence bases. I must say that I am deeply impressed by the work that is being done, and I am no less impressed by the work that you will do. We will continue striking Hezbollah. I say to the people of Lebanon, our war is not with you. Our war is with Hezbollah. Nasrallah is leading you to the edge of the abyss. I told you yesterday to evaluate homes in which there is a missile in the living room and a rocket in the garage. Whoever has a missile in the living room and a rocket in the garage will no longer have a home. But I tell you something else. He is putting your country in danger. Free yourselves from Hezbollah's grip. Free yourselves from Nasrallah's grip for your own good.
Meanwhile, along the northern front, IDF Northern Command Commander Major General Ori Goldin emphasized to his field commanders that they must maintain peak preparedness for a ground maneuver as the war has entered into a new phase.
We have entered into another phase of the campaign, and we are executing the Northern Arrows operation. Operation Northern Arrows began with a very significant blow to Hezbollah's capabilities, with an emphasis on Hezbollah's fire capabilities, and a very significant blow to the commanders and people in the organization. As part of facing this, we must change the security situation. We need to be very strongly prepared to enter into maneuver and action.
General Goldin's statement was made after Jerusalem's top defense official, Minister Yoav Gallant, toured the northern front and held discussions with the most potent IDF infantry and commando forces along the front line as they are preparing themselves for the moment in which Jerusalem will give the order to launch a wide-scale ground offensive.
Hezbollah today is not the same Hezbollah of a week ago. The sequence of blows which it has suffered to its command and control, its operatives, and their munitions, these are all severe blows. I trust the IDF for everything that it does, and we have more blows prepared. We know what to do and how to activate the tools. With that being said, remember that Hezbollah is not Hamas. There are similarities and there are differences. The field looks differently, the enemy looks differently, the threats appear differently, and the challenges are different.
Irrespective of the challenges which the IDF troops will face, with God's grace, they will prevail in the face of their enemies.
I think I know. Any Hezbollah enemy who you'll face, you will know how to eliminate him. I'm 100% confident. They understand this. Hezbollah understands what I'm saying, and it is troubled and concerned by it, and you know full well that the moment may arrive that we will give the order, and this establishment will roll forward. Therefore, we must prepare, and I see what you've done. I think it is very important. You are the most well-prepared forces which the IDF has ever had. None else experienced an entire year of warfare in the manner in which you have faced it.
Defense Minister Gallant went on to stress the fact that Hezbollah's terror operatives and commanders are now at an all-time low when it relates to their morale and capabilities, while further highlighting that while fighting, the troops must remember Hezbollah's declared intentions vis-à-vis Israel and its people.
It says that it wants to strike us, to destroy us, to harm us, take it with utmost seriousness. This is its goal. It really means it. And I think that there is a clear display, both in the south and north, to what has been done. We must persist until we bring about that which we had decided, to return the residents back to their homes with security so that they may live normal lives.
It is important to know that the IDF has struck hundreds of Hezbollah targets today, including roughly 60 installations belonging to the Iranian proxy intelligence unit, alongside major weapons caches of strategic munitions. And while the Jerusalem Security Cabinet is expected to convene for an emergency session at 10 p.m. this evening, IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari stressed that Israel strives to achieve its goals as quickly as possible, albeit also prepared for a lengthy campaign.
We strive that the operation is as short as possible. That is why we are striking with huge power. Thus we have to be prepared for it to take time. Our mission in the end is to achieve the war goals and bring the residents of the north back to their homes, and we have to stand by our mission.
Meanwhile, in Tehran, the Islamic Republic's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei acknowledged that Hezbollah is sustaining devastating blows. Nevertheless, in an attempt to up the spirit of his followers, who are experiencing an all-time low in morale, Ayatollah Khamenei insisted that Hezbollah remains victorious.
Yes, they are hurting them. Some of the effective and valuable elements of Hezbollah were martyred. It was a loss. But this was not a loss that destroyed Hezbollah. The organizational and human strength of Hezbollah is much more than these words. Their authority, ability, and strength are much more than these words to be seriously affected by these losses. Of course, the loss of a person, especially if he is a commander and has a history of jihad, is a loss. There is no doubt about it. Therefore, they've won so far, and by Allah's grace and power, the final victory in this battle belongs to the resistance and the Hezbollah front.
Khamenei, who is the ultimate decision-maker of the Ayatollah regime, went on to assert the Islamic importance to ensure that the land of Israel, which he referred to as Palestine, would be reconquered by Muslims.
The definite ruling of Sharia is that it is mandatory for everyone to try and help to return Palestine and the Al-Aqsa Mosque to Muslims and to its original owners.
While highlighting the importance of the conquest of the lands of Israel, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei acknowledged further that Hezbollah is sacrificing itself for Gaza, as it is supposedly waging jihad, an Arabic reference for holy war.
Hezbollah in Lebanon has sacrificed itself for Gaza and puts itself forward in the face of these bitter incidents. It's doing jihad for Allah.
It is further interesting to highlight that the Ayatollah regime's supreme leader also seized the opportunity to attribute Israel's successes to the involvement of the United States, which has stood behind the state of Israel since the war erupted.
America is behind it. The Americans say, "We are not involved. We have no information." They are saying the opposite. They know it. They are involved, and they need the victory of the Zionist regime. For the upcoming elections, the current American government needs to show that it has supported the Zionist regime and won.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to encourage you to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. Separately, if you're blessed by our productions, which are exclusively donation-based, please consider supporting our programs with a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'd like also to seize this opportunity to thank all of you who do support us, either regularly or intermittently. Your support really is what helps us maintain our productions daily. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.